So let's get started into our next lab, which is creating reusable Power BI assets. This lab should take you approximately 30 minutes to complete if you're relatively new to Power BI or Microsoft Fabric. But if you are familiar already with Fabric and Power BI, should take you considerably less amount of time. Before we get started, you do need to download the zip file given on this GitHub repository so that we can upload it to our Microsoft Fabric workspace. All right, so let's publish this report to Power BI Service or Microsoft Fabric. For this, we're first going to create a workspace. So let's go to Fabric. Here I have my workspaces in the left panel, left menu panel. And I have a button here to create a new workspace. Let's call this workspace DP-600 Lab 12. Let's make sure that we have the advanced cap capacity available either through the trial or premium capacity or fabric capacity. This will help us complete our lab. All right, there you go. So we have our workspace here. And the next thing we're going to do is upload our report in here. So I'm going to say import, no, where do you go for this? New folder. Okay, so before it used to be upload browse. Now it's import a report or paginated report. And I'm going to browse on this computer. And here I have the start of 16 starter sales analysis file. All right, there you go. So you can see here we have three items that gets created. We have the report, the semantic model, and the dashboard. And we're going to use this in a later task. Okay, so now we're going to close this web browser and let's move on into the Power BI Desktop. So I have Power BI Desktop available over here. And what we're going to do is now, instead of connecting to the starter file, we are going to connect to the Power BI desktop through the Power BI desktop. We're going to connect to the report uh, we have already uploaded into Power BI service. So let's go to File, Options and Settings, Options. And let's go to the preview features. Make sure that the store semantic model using TDML format is enabled. You can see I have it selected here. Click OK. And once you do this, it will ask you to restart Power BI Desktop sometimes. So please do that if it prompts you to do that. All right. And then we will go and save this report. So we're going to click on File, Save As. And we're going to save it as a PBIP report. All right, so we can save it now, and not only as PBIX or PBIT, now we also have the PBIP option, right? This is the Power BI project option. All right, that is what we have enabled. Let's go back. Let's get our report. We're going to get it from Power BI semantic models because we have a semantic model uploaded now. So we're going to connect to that Power BI semantic model. You can see I have it here, 16 starter sales analysis in the workspace DP-600 lab 12. That's because I've already signed in here with the same account where I have uploaded this report. So let's connect to this. Let's give it a minute so it can connect. And then we should see 9 tables in our data pane. Very good. All right. So let's save this file now as a PBIP. And let's say lab 16, DP-600, lab 12, sorry. And let's browse and save it in documents. Lab 12. I'm going to save it as PBIP. All right. All right, so let's take a look at how these files are stored now. Let's go to our documents folder. And here in the documents folder, you can see we have our PBIP file, the report folder, um, and we have the PBI. This is the file folder for your report. We have a git ignore file, and we don't have the semantic model as of yet. Hopefully, once we save it again, it should be available there. So let me just save it again. And once we make some changes to the report and save it again, we should also see the semantic model. So it'll say DP600 lab 12 dot semantic model. And this is the PBIP file, and we have the git ignore created as well. All right. So let's add a new table to our report. Let's go to get data and let's go to web. All right. And we can see we have a message saying that I have to create a direct query connection to make changes to my model. So I will choose add a local model. All right. And here I will choose all the tables and select submit. All right, there you go. And then let's add this link here. I'm going to remove the quotation marks. So this location should be the location where you have downloaded your file. So let's take a look at that really quickly. I have it in downloads in 16 reusable assets. And here it is. So let's take the link from here and replace the link I have in here. There you go. And click OK. All right. So here we're going to select table 2. We have table 2. And so I'm going to just check it. And let's click on transform data. The first thing we're going to do inside the Power Query editor is let's rename this to US population. All right. And we're going to rename the columns. We're going to rename state to state, make it a little, read a little better, number to population. And we're going to remove this rank column. All right, there you go. Renamed columns, removed columns. And then we'll select close and apply to load this data into our model. And let's click OK for this potential security risk. And now let's save our file. Okay. Now let's go back and take a look at our semantic model in documents. And now you can see that I have my semantic model show up, which didn't show up before. It is showing up right now because I have just saved it a couple of seconds ago. So I'll find this folder and I will open up this folder and I can notice I have a couple of different files. And let's open up the relationship.tdml file, which I don't have here. I just have definition. Do I have here? There you go. I have the relationship.tdml file. So let's open this up in a notebook. And sorry, in a notepad. This is what the relationship.tdml file looks like. Okay, and you can see, for example, the relationships, the from column, the to column, and you can see all of the types of relationships, the cross-filter direction, things like that, that has been saved because we have created the PBIP file and not the PBIX file. All right, so I'm just going to close this, and I don't want to make any changes to relationships over here. Okay, very good. All right, so let's go back to Power BI and let's go to the modeling tab and let's go and click on manage relationships, and we notice here we have all of those relationships which have been mentioned in that TDML file are now present here in manage relationships. All right, let's create a new relationship. So the from table is going to be reseller, and we're going to select the state province as key column. And the to table is going to be US population with state as as your key. The cardinality is going to be many to one, and the cross filter direction is going to be both. All right, great. So let's save that. Okay, so we have this new relationship created. You can see it's the top one. And let's close this. Let's save our file. And let's go back to the Explorer. So you can see all the files have been updated. It was first at 9:22 a.m. and now it's at 9:25 a.m. So let's open this again in a notepad. And now we can see the last one that was added here is the new one that we just created. All right. So that's the new one that we just created, has been added to the relationships.tdml file. All right, great. Now let's go back to Power BI and add a measure and visual to our report. So in Power BI Desktop, let's go to the sales table and let's select a new measure. And let's copy this DAX query that has been provided to us and put it in there, sales per capita. All right, great. So now we're going to add this to our report, sales per capita. I'm going to just drag and drop it. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see what we are adding. Okay, very good. And then we're also going to add sales. And we're going to add from US population, we're going to add state. And we're going to add the population as well. Let's put this into our y-axis. Now let's turn this visual into a table. There you go. Okay, there is something that is not working here. We have the states, which looks good. We have the sales per capita. We have the sum of sales, but the count of population is not looking good. So what can we do here? So here, instead of count, let's do a sum. There you go, already looking much better. Okay, all right. But the formatting here isn't that great. So let's go and change the formatting as well. I'm just going to click on the sales per capita. And once I click on a measure, the measure tools come up. So here I have the sales per capita column name or measure name, the home table. The format is currency. And here I want to remove the decimal places and reduce it to 4 decimal places. Okay, so there's no inconsistencies there. And for the population, let's do it to a whole number, and it is comma separated, and 0 decimal places, which is perfect. Okay, great. So we can see our values, the population, sum of sales per capita, all of the values are looking good. I'm just going to rearrange it like it's shown in the image. So we have first population, and we can also remove the summarization from population because we don't actually want it to summarize, and we have the same values here. All right, so population, sales per capita, and sum of sales. Looking very good. Great. Let's save our file. All right. Now we can also configure a Power BI template. A template file you can share, which is a lightweight file for better collaboration. So if you want anybody to reuse your Power BI report because it has very good formatting, very good themes, you can share this PBIT file. So let's create this Power BI template file as well. So let's go to the Insert tab here and select Images. And now we're going to navigate to our Downloads folder where we have an image saved, which is the AdventureWorks logo. And we're going to open it. There you go. So let's zoom out a little bit. I'm just going to collapse that so I can see the screen a little better. And we're going to put this in the top left corner. All right, looks good. And we're going to position this one on the right-hand side. There you go, looks a little bit better. I'm going to add a new visual in here, which is going to be a donut chart. And we're going to add sales profit and product category. There you go. So we have our two charts and it's looking very, very much like the image that was shared. So let's collapse this again and let's move this a little bit to the side and make it a bit smaller. There you go. It's already looking much better. Okay, there you go. And notice we have 4 different colors in this legend. So let's navigate to the View tab and let's look at the themes. And let's choose one of the accessible themes so it's more accessible for people who are maybe colorblind or cannot see colors or differentiate colors very well. I'm going to choose this one. There you go. So it looks much better now. And then in the customize theme, which we can also do here, customize current theme, um, what we can do is also go to the text and the title and change the font family of this theme. So we're customizing the theme. So let's go here and select this theme and click apply. There you go. So now any text that is being used in your report is going to be using that font. All right. Now we can save our PBIT file. So we're going to save as, and this time we're going to save as PBIT, not PBIP. And we're going to save it in the same location as a PBIP file, which is in Documents. So let's browse that, and we're in Documents, and now we're selecting PBIT. I'll save it here. And we can give a short description of this template. This is a template for reusing the formatting in this report. Okay. All right. So let's go and check that PBIT file in Documents. Now here you can see we have a Microsoft Power BI Desktop file, and let's open this a little bit more. Okay, so you cannot really differentiate them from here, but we can see that this is the one that was saved at a later time, so this should be the PBIT file. If I right click and look at properties here, it should tell me it's PBIT and not PBIP. All right, so if I open this file, it's basically the same file that we already have open. Gonna give it some time. All right, so this is the file, the PBIT file. Just going to make it a little bit smaller so we can see the instructions as well. All right. And let's delete these two visuals, for example. And let's go to transform data. And let's delete this US population table. Let's go to the data source settings and delete this connection as well. Let's make sure it's deleted. Yes, it's not there anymore. And let's close and apply. All right, close and apply. And let's navigate back to the themes. And we can see that this theme is still applied on my, the same colors are still applied on this file, even though I have removed the data, right? And so we can now save this file as the PBIT file, because a template, you do not want it to really have any data or visualizations in it. You probably want to keep any logos or images so they can be reused, but you do not want to have data in there. So now, yes, we can save this as the PBIT file. Let's browse this computer, and I'm going to just save it with the same name and make sure it's a PBIT file, and just use the same name that we have here and save it. Yes, let's replace that existing file, keep the template description as the same. All right, so now that's saved. Let's go to the next task, which is publishing and exploring our assets. I'm going to close this untitled file now, and I do not want to save it. Okay, there you go. I have a newly saved template file. So now in my Power BI project file, let's publish this to our report in the Power BI service. To do that, I will just click on this Publish button. Yes, let's save our file as well. And let's publish it to the DP-600 Lab 12 workspace. All right. So over here we get this message that your file was published but disconnected. And let's open the dataset uh, in Power BI message, the option that we get here when that happens. And let's sign in. I'm just going to move this page right here so we can see it side by side. All right, so this is the report, but you can see there is something happening here because of that message we got that it's disconnected. Let's go to our workspace. And you can see that we have now two different reports. We have the previous semantic model and report and the new semantic model and report. If we see this with the lineage view, okay, so you can see that it's the same text files and SQL Server that's connected to the starter file, and then our starter file and our new semantic model and report then connect to that semantic model as well. So we have reused the starter sales analysis semantic model to create another semantic model, which will then be feeding our final report. All right. I do need to create this gateway, so don't worry if there's no gateway access right now, but once you set up your gateway, that should be working. Your report should be working completely fine as well. And that's also just a one-time action for any time you want to reuse this, this semantic model in the future. All right. And with that, we have come to the end of this lab. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.